So Ashley developed a theory on communication.
Yeah, it's called switch theory. And basically, if you just imagine a relationship, we'll take an example of a new friendship. Say you're at the gym, you get to meet someone new. You have this expectation. You start off in a positive space. Your expectations are optimistic. You think, oh, we could be friends.
Yeah.
And then in time, you kind of test out whether or not those expectations are going to be met. If you add them as a friend on social media or you text them and they don't respond, then maybe you have unmet expectations. Like, oh, I guess we aren't going to be friends.
Okay.
You kind of move from a positive space to a negative space. And then we start to feel like, maybe we're not friends anymore. And so we'll maybe move to a new relationship, or we'll try to increase the communication, ask questions, those type of things, and we'll get back to a positive space. So this movement from a positive to a negative space and back to a positive space, or moving out to a new relationship, this is what I've called switch theory.
That's the switching. So you start off positive, because most relationships start off positive, right? Otherwise, they probably wouldn't start. Like you
I
have
think sometimes there are going to be cases where, it can be a parental relationship, like it's always been bad, I don't remember it being good, or things like that. But I think that for the most part, when we're starting new jobs, new relationships,
friendships,
they're going to start typically in a positive space.
So they start in a positive space, and then you have an expectation that's not met, and that puts you into the negative.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have a choice of, what are you going to do then?
Yeah.
Are you going to just walk away from the relationship? Because we see people leave relationships a lot.
Yeah.
Especially easy to do today.
For sure. There's so many options, so many other people. You think back to older cultures where you didn't have the ability to get in a car and drive. You could take a walk if you were mad, but you still got the same 10 people you live with. And so now it's so much easier to just find someone else to have as a friend, or even an intimate partner, a new job, all of these different things. But we want to encourage people to stay as long as we can, when we can, and move whenever there's positive opportunities, but not just to move because we got in this negative space. Because what we tend to find is that we repeat our cycles, and we tend to end up having ourself go with us when we're in these relationships. And so we'll just end up feeling like we're unhappy in the next job, or the next relationship, next friendship, whatever it is.
I have a question.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes people in friendships, they come in really, really strong, and then they leave really quickly? Have you ever seen that before? I'm thinking about the switch theory that we were just talking about, and how that applies to it. Because when you come in really strong at the beginning of a friendship, I think that maybe is you have a lot of expectations.
And maybe unrealistic expectations. You didn't really think through what people should give in a relationship. You think that person's going to complete you, or meet every need, or want to get together 5 times a week, and they don't really have time for it. So maybe if we take time to ask, what are our expectations before we get into a friendship, or what am I looking for, then that will help us. And if we communicate that to the other person, then that can be good. I don't think you want to go to the gym and meet someone. Hey, do you think that you'd want to be my friend? And would you have time to meet?
What are you doing tonight?
A week? Yeah.
Yeah. Ask somebody, what are they doing tonight? What are their plans for the weekend? And jumping in a lot, really heavy, because I think people would think that's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
That'll be a little bit overwhelming.
Definitely can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So it is hard to tiptoe sometimes, but I think sometimes we give too much space, and we aren't as close as we could be. But we want to stay in a positive space. We don't want to upset anyone. And so then we don't take any risks. So I think that learning this theory and learning how we do move from a positive to negative space, and how we want to get back to that positive space, what we are doing, personally, and what other people are doing in our lives, can really help us in our relationships overall, not just whenever we're making a decision whether or not to leave.
Yeah. So this is one small sample of switch theory, and it's actually in the course Why People Leave. So if you'd like to know more about why people leave and how you can go through that course and think about all the different relationships and things, it's a great opportunity to do it. You can see a link attached to this video. It's ElliottLifeCoaching.com, Why People Leave. Check out that course. Yeah,
and we're going to talk about different contexts, with switch theory, and different relationships, from intimate relationships, our relationship with God, and some of these different ones as
Work.
well. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that as well. So stay tuned.